First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tavis Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in to First Things First with the Queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show right here is called First Things First. And my first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God Almighty. Asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Let's do this. We got a lot to talk about on a Talking Point Tuesday. My KBLA delegation, you know what that is. That's where we, meaning you and me, you and me, unpack all the BS, put it in perspective, the propaganda, the talking points, and say, okay, is this serving me? Then I'll keep saying it. If it's not, then perhaps I won't, right? And let me see who is it serving so I can be clear about where these influences are coming from and why I want to embrace them or not. Yeah, good morning. Hour 1, we typically stick local. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. And Hour 3, we do a deep dive with a person or persons of interest. Today, it's just a little bit, a little bit switched around, but your basic thing is in place. I am happy to say this is the perfect time to call me. We're doing Talking Point Tuesday. A lot of times I go solo for the first hour, create room and space for you to talk about things like, say, the state of the city that we heard last night. The mayor, Karen Bass, with her first State of the City. What'd you think? Let's unpack it. Let's get your feedback. And there's so many other things going on. It seems that the issue of police misconduct, abuse, killing, has bubbled up so hard, both locally and nationally, that the mainstream media can't ignore it anymore. They've been trying their best to ignore it since 2021, since they felt like, or I think news desks decided that they could prioritize other issues and stop focusing on the black bodies. Not that there were no longer people being killed by police, but simply that we could move on in the news cycle, move on to a more current topic. Well, that moving on is not working out too well right now. So if you're overwhelmed or there's a particular situation that you want to share about, talk about, rant about, protest about, call me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. 800-920-1580. Then, of course, today technically is tax day, Uncle Sam's birthday. And I'm laughing because there's all these memes on the internet now that say, this is the one government agency where you have to guess what you owe. And then if you guess wrong, you can go to jail. But in any case, it is officially tax day, so we're going to be checking in with the wealth whisperer, Alicia Holmes. Why do I say officially? That's because if you're in California, most of the counties have been declared state of emergency and given an extension. So we don't actually have to file our taxes for, I think it's till October. I'll get the right information from Alicia Holmes, the wealth whisperer. But look, whether you're filing just to get it out of the way, trying to get caught up in a timely manner, so that you can be eligible for loans, grants, or business opportunities, or whether you just want to do better like most of us do. We do better when we know better. So it's time to get a little smarter with our financial status. And so Alicia Holmes will be here to help us with that. And then looking forward to a conversation with director Lisa Cortez. She's an Academy Award nominated film producer, but also a celebrated director. She worked on the film Precious, which of course made quite a splash. She was executive producer of that. But her latest film made a huge impact at the Pan-African Film Festival. And it is the story of Little Richard, which if you thought you knew, you don't know. It's called Little Richard, I Am Everything. It's out now. So we'll get a chance to talk with African-American producer-director Lisa Cortez, who is for sure going where few have gone before and definitely telling a story that needs to be told, the story of rock and roll, the story of Little Richard. And this is just one of the many incredible pieces that she's been a part of. So we've got a great storm on deck today, and now is the best time to call. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. What did you hear that you liked or didn't like in the State of the City address? You know, I have a friend, I don't know if she wants to be named, so I guess I won't name her, who said to me that a lot of times in the State of the City, these folks say the same things over and over again. Like, you know, they pretty much, like a lot of politicians, they just kind of do catchphrases and talking points on a Talking Point Tuesday. And I think that is true, not just for the State of the City, State of the Union, you know, many political addresses. But sometimes they cut through the pablum with real points and ideas. And so, or things that really upset you. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on what the mayor had to say last night. I felt like it was a compelling speech. It had its highs and lows in terms of political points. I do not think she said the same things that everybody said, but I love to hear your thoughts on that. Did you hear anything that gave you hope, made you mad, gave you an idea? Because I think one of the things that our mayor has been really clear about is that she wants to hear from folks. The listening tour around public safety is one of the things she kind of rolled out, although we've heard about it. I've heard about it before, but maybe that's because I'm on the press calls and I'm on, you know, and I've interviewed her quite a few times. That said, what does that mean? You know, it means she wants your feedback, whether you're on a neighborhood council or you're just tired of the status quo, and we have the ability to give that input. I'm hoping it's not, of course, we all need to look at solutions. We all need to be able to expose the problems in our communities and in our cities, in our state. But there's also a lot of things that are working, and I hope that we'll focus on those as well, because the focus on what we want is this is what we want to put our money into, right? And I think about, you know, the gang intervention system as a bright spot, although that system needs a lot of work too. And I hope with the announcement of the mayor's new Office of Community Safety, which is not replacing public safety, but appears to be a department that will go side by side with public safety to make sure that this care first concept that we've talked about for so long now becomes codified into city policy, into a department, into our way of doing business in the city of Los Angeles. Taking your phone calls when we come forward. Call me now. This is the best time to share. I love chopping it up with you. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima. You're you. And this is KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Let's get back to business, Los Angeles County. The Economic Opportunity Grant Program is now open. This program is designed to provide financial support to qualified small businesses, micro entrepreneurs, food industry businesses such as restaurants, and nonprofits in Los Angeles County. Approximately 4,600 grants of up to $2,500 will be administered to qualified micro businesses that face barriers to accessing capital resources. To learn more about the Economic Opportunity Grant Program, visit www.grants.lacounty.gov. The application process is fast and easy. Don't miss the opportunity to get back to business. This program is administered by the County of Los Angeles through its Department of Economic Opportunity and funded in part through a grant from the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. Application portal is powered by Lendistry. Visit www.grants.lacounty.gov and get back to business.
Personal Law Office is your go-to attorney for criminal cases. We will work with you at every step to ensure you are fully informed and your rights are protected. Call me at 424-261-2075 if you're facing any criminal offenses.
Natalia, solid dismount, but that little pause is a deduction.
Top tumblers hope to stick the landing with Coach Jasmine.
That aerial sequence still needs work.
She needs more certified athletic trainers to find her balance.
Focus. I'm going to need you for the all-around. Wait, who's spotting the vault?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The FAA will be hiring air traffic controllers soon. Applications open June 24th through June 27th. If you know someone between the ages of 18 and 30 who might be interested, please tell them to go to www.faa.gov/BE-ATC to apply today. The salary range is $103,000 to $164,000. There's also paid training and school. Again, that's www.faa.gov/BE-ATC. Again, that's www.faa.gov/BE-ATC to apply to be an air traffic controller. This community call to action is brought to you by the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals and KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
So it is tax day in most of the states, right? For California, it depends what county you're in. If you are in a county that was declared a federal disaster area, then you have until October 16th. You could do it by today, get it over with if you have your stuff together. But if you're in LA County, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, or Ventura, those were all declared federal disaster areas. So you don't have to file until October 16th. If you live in a different county, but your business is in one of the covered counties, you still qualify for an extension. In other words, let's say you live in a county that is not considered a disaster area, but you do business in LA or Orange County, you still get the extension for until October 16th. And that's because of the heavy rains. The insane rainstorms, which may or may not be over yet, give you an automatic extension. If you're not in one of those counties that has an automatic extension, you can still request one. Any person on any tax year can request an extension, but you have to do it today by 11:59 p.m. You either have to file your taxes if you're not covered, or you have to ask for an extension. And of course, the extension typically does go to October, and then that's why we have a second rush for tax returns to go in October every year, because that's how long the extensions last for. Normally, you would have to file for that, but again, if you're in California, in many counties, you don't have to file. So, Karen Bass, our mayor, she did talk about a new LA. And I think it's an LA that is an evolved LA, an LA that we have been visioning and calling for and voting for and organizing for. And that is, that was kind of the focus or the heart of last night's State of the City speech. I think there were things that, I liked more than other things. I feel like the mayor is the mayor of all of Los Angeles. I think it would be, unrealistic to expect her to get up there and say some of the things that you might hope she would say, or I might hope she would say, as far as let's drastically reduce police budgets. Let's, I'm not an abolitionist, but I do think that we need to reallocate funds in a radical way and reimagine policing in a very thorough way, because we see it. We're not marching, but people are still being killed and mistreated and beaten and manhandled. And that's not okay. It must cease, right? But I do think what the mayor is saying is she said clearly she wants to rebuild the police force, add cops to try to get it back to the levels, she's not even trying to get to the level that we had during the Villaraigosa administration, which is 10,000. She's trying to get up to 9,500. And that's even a tall order, because people are going to keep retiring and people are quitting, going to other police departments. But the companion piece to that was the Office of Community Safety, right? Which is about the listening piece is meant to say, what makes your community feel safe? And that's why I think we should focus not just on what's not working, but also on what is working. And those are mostly community-generated, community-controlled initiatives coming from CBOs, coming from the intervention community, which, by the way, needs to be unionized. They need benefits. There's no reason that LA City intervention workers who put their lives, or county ones, who put their lives on the line for the well-being of all Angelenos should be treated as second-class citizens when it comes to their compensation and benefits. Reminds me of the conversation we were having about SEIU 99, where you've got, janitors and bus drivers working side by side with teachers, and they're just as important to the kids, but yet they were being paid sub-survival wages. And I think we have a similar kind of duality going on with intervention workers and other public safety workers in the city. Intervention workers, most of them, they're making very low wages. They don't have benefits. They don't have retirement. But they're doing similar work to keep us safe than a public safety employee who would have benefits and retirement. And doesn't make sense. We cannot build our business model, whether it's a government business model or a educational or an actual corporation. We can't build them on a model that requires wage slavery in order for them to succeed. That's called predatory capitalism. Let's go to Randy calling us from Watts. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning, Dominique. Great topic. I listened to most of her report yesterday. I felt pretty pleased. Some of the things that I wanted to bring forth, the fact of the matter, we are down about 1,500 officers in LAPD, which she seems to be looking at different avenues of policing. But at the same time, the situation that happened in Compton with that takeover at that store the other night, and a statement being made by the police department that they were overwhelmed and they couldn't do anything, that doesn't sit well with entrepreneurs planning on doing business in our community. That's going to leave us a lot of empty stores, or maybe we'll take up our concept and create these businesses.
Do you think that's true, Randy? Do you think it's true?
Well,
I mean, because that's
those-
Compton. So we're talking about the sheriffs. We're talking about the L.A. County Sheriff's Department. You think they really don't have the people power, or do you think they're doing all that because they want to increase their budget?
They want to increase the budget.
I mean, because you
you
really expect me to believe that the L.A. Sheriff's Department does not have the man and woman power to stop a street takeover in Compton? That's what you want me to believe?
That's not true. You know that.
It just sounds dumb to me. It just sounds dumb.
Yeah, but they said it, and I'm like, okay. I mean,
right.
I
know,
Come
Randy.
on.
I was just trying to give us a reality check. I'm not saying they didn't say it.
One of the things that I see that the psychiatric help, her ideas of this situation to offset the homeless, that's very positive. And we need to step on the gas with that. We need to step on the gas with that immediately. Housing-wise, I'm looking at least 2,500 to 4,000 apartments in my community, and I live right there in the Watts area. And once those are done, we should see a significant change. But at the same time, we have to set forth an agenda to sustain these people financially. And we have to sustain their minds financially, and we need to put those funds in that direction. I think we're headed in the right direction. I'm not moving. You can believe that.
I'm not either,
be right
Randy.
here.
I'm not either. I always joke about I could be the last black lady on my block. I'll be 100 years old, and I'm not moving.
I ain't going. I'll be here till the wheels roll off of it, because the reality of this is the nicest, safest. At least we don't have any earthquake vaults or fires running through Watts. I mean, we don't have any brush fire of any significant amount. If there's a fire, we did it.
I know what else y'all don't have, Randy. Y'all don't have no Proud Boys running through there.
No, did we got that right? Well, I ain't go. I was on the radio last night. I don't know. You must have been listening. I was doing some training the other day with about half a dozen of our queens, trying to figure out how to run these bullets down range and get in the right area. But no, we're looking in a positive direction. I wish I was younger to be able to get out there and do what I did back in the '80s. But I mean, I'm good. Luckily, we have you, and we have KBLA, and this is one of the best things that we have had in Los Angeles. And I commend you again and again and again. We need you keeping us alive. You keeping us woke. All right, that's all we got to do.
Oh man, Randy, that means the world. It really does. You know, we work hard and we really appreciate the love. I can't even tell you how much.
Well, I'm going into Stein Eye here. Somebody's going to be able to see in about 4 hours. I've got eye tissues. I just got off the plane, so let me go into this UCLA lab and have this person see the daylight.
Awesome. All right, Randy, thanks for the call. I think the key takeaway, well, there's several takeaways from what Randy said, but one of them that resonated so much with me is we are going in the right direction. Because I know that when we look at something like a State of the City speech, the temptation is to just pick it apart and tear it down. And okay, a critique is legit. I don't have a problem with that. But I think the key takeaway is we are going in the right direction. We are going in the right direction. And we're going in the right direction because we've organized, we've showed up, and we're going to keep organizing and showing up. I think having a mayor who can articulate things that a lot of us are going, this seems like common sense. But then, you know, in the political arena, so many times you're going, why don't they do this? But they don't. And I think that's open to good ideas, that has her own good ideas. One example, she's talking about the city buying hotels instead of subsidizing these crime magnet roach motels. Buy the thing, convert it into something, whether it's, you know, permanent supportive housing or transitional housing, and then you stop wasting the taxpayers' money propping up a business that's doing nothing but bringing more crime into the community. I mean, that's something we've been talking about on the air for years, and now it's part of the plan. Again, love to hear your thoughts, pros and cons. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In Los Angeles, California, African-American Mayor Karen Bass is expected to unveil her full spending plan today. She shared some of the details during Monday night's State of the City address. Her proposed budget for the 2023 fiscal year includes an unprecedented $1.3 billion for homelessness and housing. The proposed budget awaits approval by the LA City Council. It would go into effect July 1st. New York is being ranked as the priciest city in the U.S. That, according to a 2023 study by Smart Asset, an investment advisor company, findings show that people earning $100,000 in the Big Apple amounts to less than $36,000 when you consider taxes and cost of living. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Celebrate Manny Mota's legacy on April 29th at Dodger Stadium and be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance and receive a Manny Mota Legends of Dodger Baseball bobblehead presented by Bank of America. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotion.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Something to keep an eye on tonight in Game 2 of the Clippers' first-round matchup with Phoenix. Kevin Durant took only one shot in the final 6 minutes on Sunday. The Clippers are expecting a much more aggressive Durant tonight. Remember this name, Nicole Lynn. She's African-American, and she's a sports agent. Lynn is the agent who negotiated the contract that will make Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts the NFL's highest paid player. Hurts signed a 5-year extension Monday worth $255 million. $179 million is guaranteed. Lynn has been Hurts' agent since the Eagles drafted him in 2020. Her client list is growing. She's representing Georgia linebacker Will Anderson and Texas running back Bijan Robinson. Both players will be high first-round picks in the NFL draft on April 27th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tell me I'm a boy and girl.
I'm young, gifted, and black.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
Hey there, I'm Jared Hill, president of the National Association of Black Journalists of Los Angeles, and I just want to say thank you for the benevolent $10,000 donation and scholarships for the next generation of black journalists.
And I'm Haywood Galbraith, photojournalist and founder of the Minority Photojournalism Institute. Thanks, KBLA, for your generous $10,000 scholarship gift to help us train the next generation of black photojournalists.
Congratulations to all the students who will benefit from the scholarship dollars raised at our Black History Month luncheon, honoring black legends in LA media. When we come forward at KBLA Talk 1580, we're bringing everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us.
I want to thank you.
KBLA Talk 1580 would like to thank all of the businesses that tune into KBLA at work. We celebrate you, your calls to the station, and your overall support. To show our appreciation, we would like to treat your office to a lunch for 10, brought to you by the Original Taco Pete's. Open the KBLA Talk 1580 app or log on to KBLA1580.com to submit your office to be selected for our Office of the Week. We know you're just like our staff, putting in many hard, smart working hours per week. We just want to say thank you, and we appreciate you. You and your staff deserve lunch on us. Enter your office to win lunch for 10 and be highlighted on KBLA Talk 1580 as our Office of the Week. Open the KBLA app or log on to KBLA 1580 to enter your office today to become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week, sponsored by the Original Taco Pete's, a black-owned restaurant. Become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week. This has been a KBLA Talk 1580 community call to action.
I know it's gonna happen without you.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Our Weekly Los Angeles is the largest audited black newspaper in the state of California with a distribution of over 50,000 copies weekly. Pick up a copy every Thursday to get the latest news on African American communities of LA. You can also keep up with what's going on in Los Angeles and surrounding cities by going to www.ourweekly.com. The Our Weekly website is updated daily with the current news about us and for us. For your advertising needs, Our Weekly offers economical advertising packages to fit your budget. Feel free to call Our Weekly Los Angeles at 323-905-1300 or visit the website at www.ourweekly.com. Our Weekly Los Angeles, reporting news that matters to you.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And I do appreciate you on this Talking Point Tuesday. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. The other day I asked if progressives eat our young, if we destroy our own. I understand that accountability is important, and we do need to be able to critique our mayor and the programs. I also think that there is a tendency, at least what I see on social media, to expect a kind of perfection and instant solving of all problems from our first black woman mayor that we have not required of anyone else, and a tendency to just decide to tear her down without even standing up and being part of the solution in a direct way. That said, love to hear from you. 800-920-1580. We are moving in the right direction. I think Randy is correct. The unveiling of the Office of Community Safety appears to be it's an example of Mayor Bass's balanced approach, right? Just like she gave so many people credit and gave them the spotlight last night. Typically, the state of the city is just a one-man show. Yes, it's usually a man. One-man show. What we saw Mayor Bass doing is giving the spotlight, giving credit, thanking people. That may seem small to you, but it's actually really big. It's part of how she gets things done when other people are not able to get things done, is by building coalitions where everyone feels seen and heard and where everyone gets credit. That is more than a notion, and it is why she was able to be in the assembly under the Schwarzenegger administration and actually get some things done for foster kids. You could sit up there and say, well, she didn't do this and she didn't do that, but we see what she did do, which is more than anyone else did during that period of time. It's why she was able to go to Congress and get some things done at a time when very little got done, even though we could say, yeah, it's true, she wasn't able to deliver the George Floyd Justice and Policing bill or the Breathe Act, but nobody was able to deliver much of anything during the obstructionist Congress at that time. Let's go to Terry calling us from LA. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique.
Hi, what's up, Terry? Did you watch the State of the City?
Yeah, I looked at it. You only accept one call per week, so if I'm calling, I have no choice but to talk about what you talk about.
No, that's not true.
Week.
It's freestyle phones. Talk about whatever you want.
Okay, I wish I could have like 10 minutes then on that with you.
Yeah, you need to call Tavis about that. Maybe he'll give you a show.
I know. You had Lola Smallwood on your show last week. I got to say she would make a great Republican, and she would do so much for the black community. But on another note, what I wanted to talk about, you had a caller. I think he was saying something about the Hispanic police, and I'm only talking about Southern California. When you look at the racial difference, and if you're a black police, you get called Uncle Tom or a sellout. Well, no blacks not going to be police because they get criticized. So when you're in a community to where what the black population in Southern California is where like 5 or 7%. So Hispanic police is going to police because blacks don't want to become a police. So on that situation, it's like, I don't know.
Okay, but here's the thing, Terry. Let's say that's true. I have 2 critiques about that. Number one, isn't that another reason why police departments need to evolve so that black people don't feel like traitors to their own community simply by joining a police department? And I'm not saying that you automatically are a traitor to your community, by the way, but if you're going into a business where we can verifiably see them killing people from your community every single week, it's logical for a black person to want to avoid that. Do I want to be part of an institution or tradition that is killing, my relatives? Most people are going to say no. That's called logical common sense.
Yeah.
So those institutions need. I'm going to let you finish. Don't worry, Terry. I'm just saying those institutions need to change enough to where black people feel like it's a good idea. Number one, and the other part of that is just because black folks may not be applying to be in law enforcement at the levels that you'd like to see, it doesn't give Latino officers a pass to do their job in an inhumane way either. Like, just because you're the majority in the police force doesn't mean you get to extra harass and abuse and kill black people either.
Comment, but I got 2 more subjects I want to talk about too. Okay, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is when you're in a community with 90% of Hispanics, and if a black dude try to join, they get criticized, then it's no choice but for Hispanic police to police us. Do I like that? No. I would love to see more black officers, but they get criticized.
Right, I get it. I'm just saying those Latino officers also have to be held accountable. We don't just say, oh, well, they're Latino, so that's how it is. There's plenty of Latino people that believe in justice, that believe in anti-racism, and those just don't happen to be the ones that are, killing Dijon Kazee.
My 2 more things that I wanted to talk about. I got so much to say, I forgot what I wanted to talk about. About these 2 guys in Tennessee or wherever they was at.
The Justins?
They doing that's their name. Yeah, they doing a great cause. We all know what's going on in Chicago. They need to be protesting in Chicago and try to make change. And on my last note, because I forgot everything what I wanted to say, on my last note about Clarence Thomas, the guy accepted a few gifts or whatever. Should he be fired? Why? He's a black man. Yeah, we know he married to a white lady. I get that. But the stuff Clarence Thomas did have nothing to do with the Joe Biden crime family.
Oh, my goodness. When talking points go wrong. Terry, I kind of see what you were trying to say about the Justins, but that was a talking point fail because you didn't connect the dots. When it comes to Clarence Thomas, the reason I was laughing because you say he accepted a few gifts. One vacation was worth $500,000. Have you ever been on a $500,000 vacation?
I wish I had.
Same. I never have either. So a few gifts, a $500,000 vacation, a vacation worth more than most of us make in 5-10 years. That's just a few things. He accepted a few things. Let me accept a few things like that and see what happens. I'm just saying, Terry. Oh, my goodness. Terry called 800-920-1580, and you can too. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
We may be LA's newest talk station, but when you're punching above your weight, it's not about whether you can throw a punch. Can you take a punch? We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. And we don't black down.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
The California Black Chamber of Commerce is helping to expand broadband access. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by Lendistry. Story courtesy of CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. The California Black Chamber of Commerce is joining hands with California state government to help narrow its digital divide by helping push the state's Middle Mile Broadband Initiative through the Broadband Technology Small Business Initiative. It connects CBCC's statewide membership of 5,500 plus small African American business firms and non-Black entities to the benefits of broadband technology. 2020 Internet Access records that 15% of Black Californians had zero internet access. And another program known as the Affordable Connectivity Program makes qualifying households eligible for $30 a month toward internet service. Visit fcc.gov/ACP for more.
The clock is ticking, and there's just a few days left before God's Trying to Tell You Something comes to town.
We interrupt this program to bring you this special report. The 2 p.m. performance of God's Trying to Tell You Something is sold out.
That's the bad news. The good news is there's one last performance. Saturday, April 22nd at 7 p.m. at the Wilshire Ebell Theater.
Get your tickets now
And be in the house.
see what everybody's talking about.
All remaining seats only $50.
But hurry before they sell out again.
Tickets on sale now at eventbrite.com and godstryingtotellyousomething.com.
It's a night of theater you'll never forget.
It's God's Trying to Tell You Something.
Be a part of the live studio audience.
He's trying to tell you something.
Don't miss it.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
And this is where you are always welcome in the conversation. It's reciprocity, it's engagement, it's all of that. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Sharing the credit, sharing the spotlight, those are the things that have moved the ball before. It's something we don't typically see with a lot of folks in entertainment or politics. So I think we are moving in the right direction. And we're in a critical period because if we don't make progress, if we don't make this work, the folks that got coaxed over to a more progressive approach from the center, the so-called independents, a lot of our allies could end up like Venice. Right? Snapping back the other way, going backlash or white lash, if you want to call it that. And I thought we might be seeing that in the mayoral race with Caruso making himself into a palatable Republican, well, a self-proclaimed Democrat, but, making it seem less like Florida, less like Tennessee, but basically same groceries, different bag. But now I see that LA overwhelmingly voted in Mayor Bass. It was a huge margin. And that means we have got to, rather than throwing her under the bus, rather than issuing an open letter first and having a meeting second, do our best to, yes, keep the pressure on, keep the critique real, but also be part of making this work. Because I guarantee you that if we are not able to continue the progress under this Care First approach, which we know didn't start with Mayor Bass, I mean, this is something that we, the voters, we, the people, have demanded, that if we don't find progress under that, the backlash is real. Ask D.A. Gascon. Ask the voters of Venice who put in the most conservative city council member that's currently sitting in the horseshoe. And that is, I would say, a direct result of backlash, right? They had probably one of the most progressive members of the council in Mike Bonin. They got fed up because they kept seeing the unhoused persons crisis growing bigger and bigger. And they went backlash. And I'm telling you right now, if we're not part of the solution, if we just want to sit on the sideline tweeting and throwing rocks instead of suiting up to take this opportunity, because if we don't fix our city now, I don't know when we're going to have another chance like this. Big Phil from LA, it's you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Creek didn't rise this morning. Satan, you don't sleep. Remember that. Well, let me move very quickly here. Karen Bass is going to be the greatest mayor we ever had, okay? She was community leader way before this about helping people. People always got to say this like she's going to wave a magic wand. That's not going to happen, okay? Overall, she's going to be the best we ever had. And I'm for the sisters. I've been doing it a while. Whatever people say is negative, I don't care, because I know what this sister can do. She's going to show the world, okay? Misery love company, and we don't want the company, okay? We got to be positive, always negative, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay? Now, let me leave you with this. We got to get together and put together as one, as an individual, as a black race, and stop criticizing when a sister that powerful as Karen Bass, what she ain't going to do. She can't do everything. You know, an old politician's dirty game. She's gonna be the greatest mayor we ever had. So I'll leave that for part 2 for next time. What I want to say, I hope Molly Bell get well soon, recovery, of course. I love Molly Bell. Who don't love Molly Bell? Okay.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I love you guys. Stay safe. Let's keep it moving. Go Karen Bass. Big amount. God bless you.
God bless you too, Big Phil, with a nice dose of positive energy, positivity. We aim to bring it. And I think just from my own experience being not from the prior years, as you said, I've observed the mayor in her capacity as a community organizer getting things done that we didn't even think could get done, or figuring out that we needed to organize and move on things before they even hit most of us in the way that they later would. But because where we are right now in history, the mayor has chosen to come home to try to fix the rather serious quandary that we find ourselves in, when she could have stayed in a cushy job in Congress for the rest of her days, right? She could be like Senator Feinstein, who's refusing to step aside at 89, even though she is physically not well. She could have literally gone till the wheels fallen off without the aggravation and headaches. And she has said another thing about this mayor that I think is important, is she has said we're learning. That's one of the things that she said on the calls, with the black press, is, look, yeah, Inside Safe isn't perfect, but we are learning. She talked about some of the critiques that they've gotten about the program, which she's seeking $250 million more to keep it going. And of course, I mean, what do you expect? You don't hit the ground in your first 3 months and have everything perfect. And so the clapback needs to be about collaboration and continuing to move us in the right direction, right? Because this is the moment. This is that moment when we have the opportunity to create the best of what LA is. And there's a lot of great things about LA. Many. Otherwise, why would we put up with all that we have to put up with, the traffic and the high prices? There's a lot of great things about it. Let's make it even greater. I feel like a key word in that speech was affordability. And I'll tell you why when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 congratulates U.S. Olympic gold medalist and Hall of Famer Jeanette Bolden Pickens, owner of the 27th Street Bakery. 27th Street Bakery sends a huge thank you to the community for all its support during the pandemic, serving the Los Angeles community with their signature sweet potato pie since 1956 and third-generation baker. The goal has never changed. Keep the business thriving for generations to come. Made with the freshest ingredients in each yam peeled by hand, 27th Street Bakery puts the home back and homemade with its signature vanilla added to all its amazing products. Pies, cakes, cobblers, tea cakes, and the newest item, creamy sweet potato cheesecake. Call 323-233-3469. That's 323-233-3469. Have your order shipped by visiting 27thStreetBakery.com or stop by 2700 South Central Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90001, Tuesdays through Saturdays, 8 to 4.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking. Now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth. Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome.
We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
Yeah, we do more than just talk, and we invite you to do more than just talk. You know, get with an organization, be part of the solution, and let's be a delegation that moves opinions, but also moves policies. I feel like so many things are going on right now here locally. It's almost hard to keep up with it, but I do want to flag for you the fact that the mayor has agreed to meet with Black Lives Matter LA to talk about the People's Budget LA. And if you're not familiar with the People's Budget, it is a survey that's been happening for I think 3 or 4 years, somewhere around there, where regular people like you and me can weigh in on what we think the budget should be allocated for, what we should spend more on, what we should spend less on. And then all of that data of our opinions is compiled and passed on to elected officials, disseminated through the press, so that there is a counter narrative to what we hear in the council and from the mayor's office, that traditionally the public wants all the money to go to the LAPD, or the public wants all the money to go to enforcement. And I know that there are folks that do want, more cops. But what the LA People's Budget LA has shown over the years is that, which is the same thing we've shown, actually, to be honest, at the ballot box. We want care first. We want care, not cops. We want mental health folks to respond to mental health emergencies. We want unhoused people experts to respond to unhoused people situations. And to me, that is the role. That's what I heard the mayor saying in the State of the City. That is the role of the Department of Community Safety, to take on the care first approach in a way that it creates an entire department to track it, execute it, and for it to be funded through. I say all that to say this would be a great time, since we know the mayor is going to be looking at the data from the People's Budget, to get your own opinion on there. peoplesbudgetla.com/survey. peoplesbudgetla.com/survey. It's going to take you about 5 minutes. You don't have to say your name. You can if you want to. You can just say what council district you're in if you want and not include your name, or you can include your name. And I think this is a great way to weigh in, to help our elected officials understand what our agenda is. What does public safety mean to me? What do I want my tax dollars spent on? What is it that I think creates a new LA in the way I would like to see it? So I would encourage you to do that. There's something to do on tax day, since you don't have to scramble to get your taxes in if you are in LA, Riverside, Orange, or several other counties that have received a federal declaration of emergency. You have till October 16th. San Bernardino and Ventura, those are the other two. News, traffic, and sports, and then your phone calls. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA